I'd like to say some words about Ahava, my beloved wife and soulmate, and mother of my 5 darling children. Besides feeling devastated and broken, I'm actually fearful right now that I can't, whatever I say right now is not even going to convey just who she was sufficiently, how I feel and who she was and how special she was. In fact, I think that the only person that could have done that was Ahava herself, and not because she spoke about herself. She was one of the most humble people you've ever met, but because she had a way with words and a way to convey a message and inspire people that I could never even dream of. So please, Ahava, just please inspire me so I can do justice to you. But I take some comfort in the knowledge that when I look around here, I know most of you knew her in some way, some closer than others, but she touched all of you in some way, and you know who she was and what a special person you're dealing with right now. Besides dying on Erev Shabbat, we also have another time significance, which is we're during the 3 weeks right now between Shivasa, Betamuz, and Tisha B'Av, which is the most tragic part of the Jewish calendar, as you all know. And her death, I don't exaggerate when I consider it not just a tragedy for the Langes and the Grogans and the immediate family, but a tragedy for all of Israel. Because of what she did, because of her inspiration and the light that she brought, and the mitzvot that have been done in her name, most of which I don't even know about, and I'm sure we'll get to know over the coming years, weeks, months and years and days. But more than that, she was a light into the entire world, not just the Jewish people, because I know so many people of other Christians, Muslims, it didn't matter, they were all inspired by her, and she really was, she brought a Kiddush Hashem to the world. I think anyone that came in touch with Ahava or her work, her writing, or heard her speak understands we're talking about someone exceptional, a leader of the Jewish people. And she could have done anything she set her mind to. She had that combination of strength, of charisma, of sechel, intellect, compassion. But not only that, she fought for what was right. And we live in times when what is right is a lot of times not popular. She never cared about popularity or self-aggrandizement or what people thought of her. Although if she disagreed with someone, she definitely cared about their feelings and didn't want to hurt them. That combination that she could have been the Rosh Menshelah. She could have done anything. I'm not kidding. She could have done absolutely anything, but the one thing she wanted to be, and what motivated everything, was just to be the best mother and wife, which she was. That was her. That's everything to her. You knew her well. That motivated everything, and that's why when we got married, she chose to be a stay-at-home mum, even though she had job offers coming from everywhere. She was so in demand. But she chose to be a wonderful mother, which she was. It's what motivated her. She was a mama bear, and she was fiercely proud of her children. And she fought tooth and nail for them, and there are stories, I won't tell all of them, but I mean, she would do everything for her children. She even, in one particular case with one of our children, she even went to the education minister and got him to intervene in the case, and it worked. And there are things I don't have time to talk about, but it will come out. I mentioned that she could have had any job, and she chose to be a stay-at-home mum, and it's it. The Kadosh Baruch Hu inspired her, because his plan was she was only going to live this long, but she spent an amount of time with her children like the regular person, a regular mother might, a working mother. The quality time, and I look at my kids right now, my darling kids, and I say, we're so proud of you, Emma, we're so proud of you, we wouldn't stop talking about you. You are the reason she will live on, she lives on in all of you. She was just so proud of you. Ahava's plan was to work, not to work, to be a stay-at-home mum, and then perhaps work. This physio was something she could help people in, and she also considered lactation consulting because she was so into the bond between the mother and the child. And she dispensed free advice, not just in Israel, but throughout the world. She once had a website in the past called loveyourbaby.com, and I think that just says it all. But she never got the chance to do that because when Eden was only our youngest, she's 9, she'll be 10 soon, Bezrat Hashem, and she was only 2, but Ahava fought on and on, so Eden would remember her, Emma, and she definitely went together. Ahava discovered her illness when Eden was 2, and I don't use those words accidentally. She discovered it. Again, typical Ahava, because all the medical professionals, she was depressed, and she was tired, and she didn't feel well, and she thought she was going absolutely crazy. And she knew something was wrong, because Ahava had an instinct which was almost always correct. Sometimes much to my detriment, because that meant I was usually wrong. But I always trusted her at the end of the day. So she diagnosed herself, and I remember it was on a Shabbat in July 2012. And she knew something was wrong, and she lay on the floor, and she felt her abdomen, and there were gidulim in there, growths the size of watermelons. And she looked at me, and she was a physio, so she had a complete understanding of the human anatomy, and she said, and I remember these words, and they will haunt me for the rest of my life, David, I have ovarian cancer. I didn't want to believe it, but she did the checks. That week was very hectic. That was Shabbat. By the Thursday, through some machinations and help and protexia that we had, Thursday, July the 26th, 2012, Ahava had her big operation. This was like the start of the journey. This hellish road that she went through, that we all went through, but no one nearly as much as she did. That July the 26th, 2012 was the 7th of Av. Ahava was niftar on the 7th of Av, which was also a Thursday. That was yesterday. Exactly 7 years. There's no coincidences. 7 is a divine number, meaning completion, shlemut. So Hashem gave her that time to complete her mission, and she did, exactly to the day. During the 3 weeks. Despite all the suffering, someone in Ahava's position, most people would be very forgiven for wanting to keep things private. There's no obligation to start talking about the illness with anyone, and our nature usually is to keep things personal and deal with your suffering. But that Ahava was, and also you'd be forgiven for maybe losing your faith in the Kodesh Baruch Hu, to be subjected to such suffering. Ahava did ask, why me? A lot. But she was asking that question to Hashem. She never once doubted Hashem, and she kept asking it, and she came to the answer. So when it came time to change her name, because the name she had before was the name of her grandmother, her beloved grandmother, who also passed away at a very young age. So she changed her name, and she got rabbinical approval to choose her name, and she chose Ahava, Emunah, love and faith, and it just came to her. Only afterwards she discovered this was something that Rav Kook espoused a lot. He was a big role model. And that was the answer to her question. She felt that the task that she was given with this illness was to spread love and faith in the world. And that's exactly what she did. She really did it. I'm not going to... Most of you... Most of you are already familiar with her writings and the message that she spread of love and faith and all of humanity and belief in God, the real Kiddush Hashem. I'm not going to go all over that, and I'm sure you'll be able to tell me some things that all our family, things that inspire you about it. But I can tell you this now, she didn't inspire anyone more than me. I grew being beside her. Do you understand how much I grew? And what a better person I became? And I found this inner strength I didn't know I had, only because of her. She brought me up even when she was down in the abyss. And as I mentioned, everything was about the children. And as her body slowly, after 7 years, was deserting her, the clean that she was given, which was on loan, because Hashem was asking for it back and she could hardly walk and function. But she wanted to be at the milestones of our children. And our son Zach, he had a bar mitzvah last year in October. And she made it to shul. She couldn't stay for the whole meal. She made it. And she spoke in shul in her wheelchair. And there wasn't a dry eye in that shul. It wasn't out of pity, it was out of... Everyone was just so moved by it. And she was at our eldest Tara's graduation, school graduation, not long ago. And the kids, Tara and Maya, Ed and their dancing performance and us as gymnastics, she just wanted to be. And the thing in the world that gave her the most distress was not being there for her kids. All the pain, the physical pain that she endured, which is beyond anything I or any normal person could endure. The mental anguish being beside her when she spoke about missing a parent-teacher meeting that I went to, she couldn't go to, was beyond hell for her. She felt, I'm not a good mother. I said to her, what are you talking about? You're the best. But it gives some comfort that she died peacefully this week on the date I mentioned. She died with the whole family around her. And to the end she was Ahava. She died in her bed and we all got a chance to speak to her. On the last day, which was yesterday, they upped the dose of the medication she was on so she wouldn't be in any distress. And anyone can vouch, all the family can vouch for this. She kept her eyes open the entire day. On doses of medicine, I could hardly keep my eyes open with lack of sleep. I was there with her eyes open and everyone got the chance to communicate. She couldn't talk. She could grunt and gurgle a bit, but when we told her how much we loved her and told her things, she would move her eyes and her eyebrows and give signs that she knew. And then once everyone said their piece, Hashem gave her the neshika and she left this world. I'm not going to go on, and I'm sure that over the next days, months, weeks and years, people like yourselves and around the world will be regaling us about stories about that we don't even know about. Already some are starting to come in with on the internet and social media, people telling me stuff. I'm not flabbergasted because that would imply some surprise. I'm not surprised, but I didn't know about it. Ahava once wrote, I'm on earth to cultivate my soul. I can grow a raisin, a peach, or a plum perhaps. I want mine to be a watermelon. I'm here for a reason. I'm here to make my soul juicy, a big, fat, juicy watermelon. Ahava, my love, there is absolutely no doubt in my mind right now. You have the prize watermelon soul of all time. We miss you desperately and we'll never forget you. And we hope to be there with you when our times come.
Is Ellen and Molly.
We can't hear you.
This, and not so much this. For those who don't know, this is Ellen and my baby. This is our first fruits that we brought into the world about 43 years ago. This that we're here, that we're going to do all the things that we're going to do with. This is what her neshama left behind. Used it to the max. Used in 43 years, her neshama, to say she got 120 years of mileage out of this neshama. No, so much more. When she came into this world 43 years ago, her, like all the neshama, was not, I assume, not too pleased with leaving Gan Eden and having to come and live in this thing that for some reason he set up, that our wonderful neshama need to use goof, with all its migbalot and all its limitations, to do what God wants us to do in this world. When she came in, Ellen and I gave her the name Etta, named after my dear mother, who was also taken early. Not only did she get my mother of super blessed memory her name, this thing also got some genes that led to this at this time, which for whatever reason was my job to transfer to her, the BRCA1 gene, which is what is in a large way responsible for the whole story of early cancer. But I mean, this started when this little girl, when she was 18 months old, she was always ahead of her time. She was talking like a 5-year-old. People would come up and they thought Elle and I were maybe doing ventriloquism because she's a little 18-month-old walking and talking. And that was, we knew we had something unbelievably special. Unbelievably special. It was our first experience with a kid. We could be excused for thinking, oh, all kids are going to be like her. But no, none. With all due respect to the rest of the unbelievable, wonderful family, her brothers that are the Choshen in our family. None like her. There's none like her and it didn't make it easy for her. It didn't make it easy for her because she was so special always. And it started with that ability to express herself, which most of us here and thousands of people in the world have experienced, which was the tool that HaKadosh Baruch Hu gave this neshama to be able to use her body to do his work here, to do what our neshamot are put here to do. And I know I'm not too good at it. And most of us can say, well, yeah, we try. I do a lot of mitzvahs. It's tough. Okay, enough of that now. We'll do a little of this. We'll do a little of that. We're here to be serving God, doing mitzvot, and that's what her life turned into through her work. After, I'm sure many of you are interested in hearing how she was a child growing up, creative beyond belief, and always she started writing. Probably as soon as she could write, she started writing creative things, and on, and whenever something would happen, whenever she was in distress, an event, she would write. She would write and write and write and write. She had notebooks and not fiction, not fairy stories. She would write like stuff, always beyond her age, always beyond her years, like she is right now. This, what's left of a 43-year-old, this way beyond the years, way beyond the years. So we brought her here again. The trials, Baruch Hashem. She has the scoot to be here and to do this here, and which is what she knew. She knew it was good. After she got sick, 7 years ago, and then some. When David already told, I was going to tell you about her changing her name. She actually was told by indirectly from Rav Arush that she knew she's heard another Rav, you change your name. You change your name to change your luck, to get better. And this other Rav said, your name is blah. And she said, yeah, she believed, I need to change my name. She said, my name is not blah. She then, through another party, received advice from Rav Arush, yeah, it was a good idea to change your name to who we have now. But you decide. I'm not going to tell you who you are. And as David told you this story, she became Ahava, Emunah. And why would she get upset if we slipped and called her by her other name? But I don't know anybody but David can know what this neshama did in terms of what she went through and how she so clung to life. Not because, oh, I really want to see the Swiss Alps before I, no, nothing. Oh, I really want, God, if we could only get this kitchen done before, take me here. No, never. I gotta be here for my children. I gotta be here for my children. That's all it was. Always everything. And along the way, using her unbelievable power and her ability to think and to put it down on paper, to be able to express the deep emunah that she had in her, unbelievable emunah. When she wrote these things, she wrote about her emunah. Her nefesh elokit was, it was using her body to talk. Period. Nothing in between. Straight. No stuyot on the side. There it was. And that's why all these thousands of people all around the world that were suffering from cancer, suffering from this loss, an accident, a tragedy, that's why when she wrote these things about her journey, and what she knew about faith, they were able to connect, and they said, oh wow, oh my God, wow, literally, oh my God, yes, that's it, yes, I agree. It's really, yeah. And they connected, and as David said, the messages are still pouring in. My son was this. When I read what Ahava wrote, and we read it, it helped him make it through. Went it on and on and on and on and over again. And she, exactly a year ago, she had gotten to the point where there was, medically speaking, there was nothing more to do there. All of a sudden, she couldn't walk anymore. The doctor said, you should go home and try and enjoy, you know how they say it. And at that time, it was, wait, no. We worked with her on that. Wait, no, what do you mean, nothing? And I found the treatment that so many of you also helped make possible for her in Turkey, which we believe gave her this extra year, during which time she attended a bat mitzvah, and a bar mitzvah, and a graduation, and a dance performance, and another dance performance, and a teacher. What happened in this year for her achieving her goal is non-measurable. But the reason I'm bringing it up is I would sit with her for 3 days out of every week, 2 weeks out of 3. We would get up at 2 a.m. in Beit Shemesh on Monday night, Laila Lavan, 2 weeks out of 3, get on an airplane, go through the whole bitachon, passport, blah, 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 week after week, get on an airplane. She couldn't walk. She was first a wheelchair, walker, this, that. We get off the plane in Istanbul, Turkey at 8:30 in the morning, be picked up, and then I would sit with her in this clinic till 6 o'clock that night. 2 a.m. till 6 o'clock. During that time, she wasn't sitting drinking coffee. She was fasting. She was being given drugs that by nature make you very, very sick. She would go into a pod of hyperbaric oxygen treatment, and then at the end they would put her in a box for heat treatment that you can't even begin to describe the torture. You can't even begin to describe. And every time she said, oh, no more, I can't do this anymore, but never once did she ever even think really about not doing it anymore, because she knew it was the only thing that she could do to give her more time, to give this neshama more time to do more work. Number one, to her children. Number two, God's work to the rest of the world. And she lay in that hot box while thousands of you and other people around the world, I was watching on the internet, were davening for her. She's laying in this thing. She was so uncomfortable that she couldn't even appreciate it hardly. But this is what she did. So yeah, number one, the children. Number two, and this is what she wouldn't give up also. That I know that Hashem was made so happy by the things that this neshama did just in these 7 years of her life. Not even before that. I won't go there because I do know that my baby, that our baby, as a result of her suffering, as a result of her illness, she caused thousands and thousands and thousands, mamash, of Jews around the world to do mitzvah after mitzvah after mitzvah. She had thousands of Jews saying Tehillim. She had thousands of Jews davening every day for her. Thousands of Jewish women, mafresh challah, groups, on and on and on. And every act that because of her took place of a Jew doing a mitzvah, doing what God needs us to do and what God wants us to do, got tanug from that. Whatever that means for God. We can only describe it as tanug. She caused that. That's what her neshama was here for. And that's what it did. And as we sat with her, I'm finishing now, I'm sorry, I don't want to go on too long, but I guess I won't be having another chance of doing this. But you all know how great she is, but you have to hear it from me too, because I'm the Ahava. We watched in the last 3 days when we sat on her bed when, like David said, she couldn't talk. She really could barely move, was in horrible pain. And we saw, like, any normal neshama would have said, dump this crappy body already. Like, I've had enough, I've done enough, okay, finished, the kids are set, they're gonna be fine. This thing just is not working anymore and it really hurts a lot. And I'm ready to go up to Gan Eden, it's enough. She had so much time to do that. No, not to the last minute, because I'm sure as I sat with her, our whole family sat with her, we closed with her so many times with just the eye contact and the grunting, and we knew, we were telling her we loved her, she was telling us however she could that she loved us, but what I saw happening was that neshama that in the first place didn't want to come down here, because it's pretty darn good in Gan Eden where it started, was saying, hey look, you sent me down here, you put me in this goof, I'm using it, so what? Now you want me to stop? I can still do a little more. I can still, and once I go up there, you set it up so that we need this goof to do good stuff in this world. But, once I leave the goof, I leave this world, and then I can't do that stuff anymore. I'm not sure what I'm going to be doing up there. I know it's good, but look, I'm going to finish the job that I got sent down here. I'm going to do it as long as I can until it absolutely doesn't work anymore. And it's so clear that's what's happened. And I used the analogy the other day with the hospice people that a lot of people, you drive a car. We're driving this goof. Anishama's driving this goof, and I guess there'll be a certain age. You trade it in. You whatever. It's cracking here. It's a little bit. It's not working that great. Get rid of it. No. This goof, this car, drive it, because I'm using it to serve God until it won't move anymore, and I'll just park at the side of the road. I don't need it anymore. I don't need it anymore, and okay. And that's what happened, and that's what we're with. As the last thing, everyone's talking about her writings. I don't know how many have seen it, but she actually lived it out. And this, with your permission, I just want to share a part of the type of things that she wrote. She wrote. This is when she's in the middle. I mean, not even the middle. She was in the last. We'll say, want to get the last third of her suffering. We all suffer on this earth. This is the message she gave to other people, and that we saw to the last minute. We all suffer on this earth, whether it's illness, infertility, financial, emotional. Everyone has something that makes them hurt and question. Being alive is scary. We're here for a short period of time, and we hope to make an impact. I've been listening to a lot of shiurim about what comes after death. I'm not scared of death. Life is unpredictable, and there are no guarantees. The gift of my cancer is that I had the time to appreciate my blessings, my relationships, and all that Hashem gave me. When you're in a dark place, there's always a spark. Ask yourself, what can you do with that spark? Can you make it bigger? Can you make it into a flame? Can you make it into a fire? Because that light can lead you out from the tunnel of darkness. And she finished, there's always hope for things to get better. Always look for the potential. As you inhale your last breath, hold on to that hope. I keep saying I don't need to say anything to my baby because she knows what I think even before I say it. That's the yachas that we had. So, but I'll say it publicly how much I love you and how thankful I am to have had the time that I had with you for the seemingly short time that we were together. But thank you so much, we are all so sad. We are so sad that we don't have you, but we are so happy. We are so happy that your suffering is finished and that you are in such a wonderful place with all of the wonderful neshama and great souls. We're so happy for you, and we're so sad without you.
קשה מאוד לדבר מה שאמרו כאן קודם. בדרך כלל, כשאדם הולך לעולמו, השם שאיתו הוא נולד, זה גם השם שאיתו הוא הולך. אצלך קרה, כמו שאבא סיפר מקודם, משהו מאוד מיוחד. השם שלך הוא השם שאת בחרת לעצמך. אפשר היה לשאול, מאיפה היומרה הזאת שאדם מעיז לקרוא לעצמו אהבה? מאיפה היומרה הזאת שאדם מעיז לקרוא לעצמו אמונה? אנחנו פה כדי לומר, זה בדיוק השם שלך. לא הייתה בזה שום יומרה, זה פשוט, אלה שתי המילים שמבטאות אותך בצורה כל כך חזקה. אהבתך הייתה סמל בכל העולם היהודי. לא רק למי שהכיר אותך, לא רק למי שגר בסביבתך, אלא באמת בכל העולם. אני אציץ בסדק אחד קטן שנגע לליבי, שדרכו אפשר לראות את גודל האהבה שלך. בחתונה של ילדינו אריאל ושרה דחייה, אותה חתונה מפורסמת שהתחילה בטרגדיה הגדולה שקרתה לנו, ואת היית בתוך הצרות שלך. השקעת אין סוף אנרגיה, אי אפשר לתאר אפילו, בכל מיני קבוצות, בכל מיני דרכים תקשורתיים, שאנשים ישלחו לזוג הזה מכתבים שנשלחו דרכך מכל העולם, תרומות, כספים שנשלחו דרכך מכל העולם. הצלחת להדליק את כל העולם, ממש את כל העולם היהודי, באהבה הגדולה שלך. לכן בחרת לעצמך את השם שהכי מאפיין את האישיות שלך. באתי לכאן לומר לך תודה. שמך השני אמונה. גם פה יש לי סדק קטן שדרכו אפשר לראות עד כמה זה השם שלך. בחתונה ההיא, שהיית כמובן, נראית בסדר. שאלתי אותך, מה שלומך? איך הבריאות? ברוך השם, הכל בסדר. ואני בתמימותי האמנתי לך. אחרי החתונה, דיברנו על זה במשפחה, אמרתי, היא נראית בסדר, וכנראה שהיא בריאה, היא אמרה שהכל בסדר. ואז אניה אומרת לי, אשתי אומרת לי, אתה מאמין לה? אתה לא יודע שהיא מלאת אמונה? מי אמר שזה נכון? היום אנחנו יודעים שזה לא היה נכון. אמונתך הגדולה שהתגלתה בשנים האחרונות, שוב, בכל העולם, מי שקרא את מה שכתבת, מי שהיה שותף לכל הדברים שעשית, כמו שאבא תיאר. מיליוני מצוות קוימו בכל העולם כולו, שהאמונה שלך הדליקה אותה. אנשים שהאמונה שלך הדליקה אותה. בכל העולם. אני לא יודע אם יש עוד אנשים שהצליחו להתחבר לכל העולם בלי שהכירו אותה. האהבה הגדולה שלך והאמונה הגדולה שלך. אז אני מבקש סליחה שהאמנתי לך. משפחת לנג, משפחת גרוגי. האבל הפרטי שלכם הפך לאבל לאומי. קורה עכשיו, ערב תשעה באב. ביום ראשון יהיה האבל הלאומי שלנו שיתחבר עם האבל הפרטי שלכם. זה לא מקרי. שום דבר שריבונו של עולם עושה איננו מקרי. הכל מתוכנן. ריבונו של עולם אומר לנו. זאת לא איזושהי אישה שהיא אימא לילדים, אחות, יש לה אחים ובת להורים, והם אבלים כמו שכל משפחה אבלה כאשר מישהו נפטר. לא. זה אבל לאומי. אישה ענקית, ענקית, ענקית. ענקית באהבה וענקית באמונה. הלכה מאוד 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 מוקדם. האבל הפרטי הוא האבל הלאומי של כולנו. אנחנו, כל מי שהכיר אותה, בני משפחתה והחברים, ואולי כל אלה שהכירו אותה גם ברחבי העולם, צריכים לקחת חלק בחור הענק הזה שנפער בנו. שני חורים, החור של האהבה והחור של האמונה. לקחת ממנה את הדוגמה ולנסות להמשיך את הדרך הענקית הזאת. ובזה תהיה נשמתה צרורה בצרור אחר.
לשאול כמה מילים בגלל שאנחנו נקרא מחר בערב. איני לא יודעת אם שבר חד אני. אהבה אמונה בת משה חטאתה, the daughter of Moshe, Ellen, wife of David, mother of Ahava, Maya, Zach, Adat, and Edom, sister to your brothers, sister-in-law. Truly, we adalek ben nefritaki. כל מה שנאמר לפניי, אולי חלק מזה, כבר מחסר את הדברים מועטים והעניים שאני הייתי יכול להגיד. I'll tell you a story, Adam, and I hope maybe some people will enjoy it and will appreciate it. I'll tell a story about two rabbis that for some strange reason they asked to come and speak and try out for a position on the same Shabbat. And they gave them rooms in a place right next to each other. So one of them actually was practicing the speech out loud. And the other one listened, overheard from the next room. And as luck would have it, the one who was listening and overheard, he was the first speaker. And he determined that what he had to say was much less than the one who he had heard. And so what did he do? Since it was his opportunity to speak first, he used the other fellow's words. Up gets the second speaker, who was the one who was practicing out loud the night before, and he said, Rabotai, Morai Rabotai, the words of those who spoke before me, of the one who spoke before me, are so eloquent that there's nothing I really can add, and all I can do is to repeat them word for word. The Kehillah was so impressed with his amazing memory that he got the job. I can't even do that. So I'll say a few short things, which in my own poor way maybe will reflect also on what was said. היא לימדה כל כך הרבה מאיתנו, כל כך הרבה פה בבית שמש, במשפחה ובעולם כולו. היא לימדה על אהבה ועל אמונה, דרך הבלק, מעמד לבלה. אני אבל זוכר שצפיתי בווידאו שהיא דיברה לנשים על המאבק בסרטן. ואישה עם בעלת גבורה עצומה. היא נאבקה כנמרה. She was a fighter. There was a dignity for the fighter. There was a certain gravity, maybe you wouldn't call it quietness, but certainly certainty of who she was and what she was conveying for the fighter. There was her difficulty expressed for the fighter. There was an ability to convey appreciation for the beauty in the world and for the beauty of living every day, that every day is a gift of fighter. As was said, the zechut of so much in mitzvot, and Torah, tefillot, that ascended to Shamayim, that was done on behalf and by her and on behalf of her, is such a tremendous zechut that she takes to the Olam Ha'emet. What country would she not visit? What place would she not go to in order to fight and to preserve as much as she could quality time with her family and of teaching those whom she knew and those who she could only know in a certain way through the virtual world. For 7 years, Erelim Ba'amu Neged Tzukim. But those 7 years gave you an opportunity, Emunah, to continue to be proud of your children as they grew, to spend the time, as David and Father mentioned, with them, borrow time, so to speak, and to be with them. So, as Rav Yigal mentioned, Am Yisrael Kulo, Beit Yisrael Kulo, Yivku et HaSreifa She'asaraf Hashem, as את באת לבית עולמך בערב תשעה באב, או שבר בת עמי, או שברנו, סוף הרעלים ניצבו ניצוקים, תהי נשמתך צורה.